entire year has seen the release of a plethora of outstanding music releases, but here is my roundup of the best October releases. FKA Twigs is back, and I am beyond ecstatic that she is. Between her first single Eusextra and her latest single Perfect Stranger, I am beyond excited to see what the rest of the Eusextra album holds in February. However, Perfect Stranger is a sensual, euphoric song about falling for someone without knowing anything about them, hence the title Perfect Stranger. FKA has said the upcoming album is inspired by the Berlin nightlife scene, and that is evident from the first two singles alone. For instance, on Perfect Stranger, the track has a pulsating drum beat from the start of the song and throughout the track, which really sets the scene of falling in love with a perfect stranger standing across from you in a nightclub. While this song doesn't particularly highlight FKA's vocal abilities, I don't think it needs to. The first single, Eusextra, did a perfect job with showing the more serious musician in Twigs, making Perfect Stranger the ideal second single with its more fun side. Katie Gavin is constantly proving herself as a songwriter not to be messed with. Her debut solo album, What a Relief, shows her lyrical ability and also highlights her vocals in a different way to her work with Immuna does. What a Relief is a traditional singer-songwriter album to the core. The lyrics are like sucker punches on songs such as The Baton and As Good As It Gets. And I also want to note that Sanitized is one of the best songs I have heard this year. From production to lyrics to vocals, it's creepy yet meaningful, and in my opinion, is the perfect all-rounder of a song. The musicianship from all involved in this album is an incredible standout to me too. From the acoustic guitars, which lead a huge way on this entire project and are highlighted on songs such as Aftertaste, Sketches, which is another sucker punch of a lyrical song, and Casual Drug Use, to the careful use of drums throughout and the eerie detuned piano on Sanitized, and Katie's clever use of the violin. Katie herself has said this album is inspired by 90s coffee shop acoustic music and modern songwriting revival, and that can be heard throughout the entire project. Finneas is having fun, and it shows. His latest album release, For Crying Out Loud, is a masterpiece in letting music guide you. In an interview, he said this album was created through simply having fun jamming with his friends, and you can quite clearly see that. There's never been any denying that Finneas is the human embodiment of a production masterclass, but this album is showing a different side to him, a more experimental, carefree exploration of his musical talents. For Crying Out Loud carefully guides you through human emotions, from Family Feud, a song about his relationship with his sister, which highlights Finneas's emotive storytelling, to songs such as What's It Gonna Take to Break Your Heart, which is a through and through fun love song with catchy guitar, light-hearted piano, leading drums, and a 90s inspired sound. Consisting of 10 songs, this album is as strong as any of his other prior projects, and if you haven't listened, I am more than sure there's something on there for you. Gaga is back. Disease is the first single outside of soundtracks we have had from Gaga in a while, and it is quintessentially a Gaga production, reminiscent of her 2020 album Chromatica, but also heavily reminding me of the 2009 album The Fame Monster, with its layered vocals, punchy pop chorus, and electronic production. If you're a pop fan, this is for you. It wouldn't be an October roundup without mentioning Charli's remix album of Brat, called Brat, and it's completely different but also still Brat. She has smashed this year, and there is no slowing the hyperpop queen down. The remix album of Brat breathes a new lease of life into the original songs and creates a landscape for fans to personally interpret the songs in a different way. The album is still a club record at the core, with songs such as the 365 remix by Shy Girl. However, the album leaves room for more sentimental moving moments, such as the Japanese house remix of Apple or the 1975 and John Hopkins remix of I Might Say Something Stupid. Personal highlights for me include Charli really living her pop star moment on the Sympathy Is a Knife remix with Ariana Grande, and Caroline Polachek's remix of Everything Is Romantic. The way Caroline uses her voice as an instrument is truly otherworldly. Lastly, The Last Dinner Party is another band who have had an amazing 2024. Their debut album Prelude to Ecstasy really helped them burst onto the scene, and now their deluxe album with added acoustics and covers is another delight by the band. Especially their cover of Army Dreamers, originally sung by Kate Bush, is a masterclass in honouring a song while also making it your own. They added their own signature The Last Dinner Party style while also honouring the angelic vocals of the original. Again, on the cover of This Town Ain't Big Enough for Both of Us, Abigail's vocals are outstanding, and every member of the band shows that they are a prodigy of their respective instruments, which makes a perfect musical heaven. There were a few other notable October releases, such as Paris's new EP Filth, Banks and Doechii on I Hate Your Ex-Girlfriend, and Bishop Briggs' Tell My Therapist I'm Fine album, but these 6 were the main ones that stood out this month to me.